words and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still. Beauty and all.
Was one of those pretty and charming young creatures who sometimes are born, as if by a slip of fate, into a family of clerks. She had no dowry, no expectations, no way of being known, understood, loved, married by any rich and distinguished man. So she let herself be married to a little clerk of the Ministry of Public Instruction. She dressed plainly because she could not dress well, but she was unhappy, as if she had really fallen from a higher station. Since with women there is neither caste nor rank, for beauty, grace, and charm take the place of family and birth. Hello, hi. How's your day?
Good. How about you?
Have you eaten already?
No?
Okay.
I have something for you.
Hi. What do you wish me to do with that?
What's the matter? I thought you would be glad. You've never been go out. It's a fine opportunity for you.
And what do you wish me to put on my back?
What's the matter? The gown you went into together. It's very nice for you.
Nothing. Only I have no doubt. Therefore, I can go to this ball. Give your card to Sam whose wife is better equipped than I am.
How much the gown is suitable for you?
I don't exactly know, but I think I could manage it with 400 francs.
400 francs?
Yeah.
I have you. I will give you 400 francs and try to buy something.
Thank you, Han. Thank you for this. You're the best hand in the world. Day of the ball drew near, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, uneasy, anxious. Her frock was ready, however. Her husband said to her one evening,
What's the matter? Come. You look very well last these past 3 days.
well, it annoys me not to have a single piece of jewelry. Not an ornament, nothing to put on. I shall look poverty stricken. I would almost rather not to go at all.
You might nurture up flowers. At very stylish at the time of the year. Even in 10 francs, you can buy 3 magnificent roses.
No! There's nothing more humiliating than to look for among the women who are rich.
How stupid you are! Look to your friends, Madame Forster, and try to lend their son jewelry. You're intimate enough to make her do that.
True, I never thought of it. The next day, she went to her friend and told her of her distress. Madame Forrester went to a wardrobe with a mirror, took out a large jewel box, brought it back, opened it, and said to Madame Loisel,
She's my dear. Beauty Forrester. Wow. Haven't you anymore? Why? Yes, just look farther. I don't know what to write. Beauty Forrester. Here. Wow! It looks so elegant and expensive. Forrester will a lend this? Only this. Right. Yes, certainly. Thank you, Forrester.
The night of the ball arrived. Madame Loisel was a great success. She was prettier than any other woman present, elegant, graceful, smiling, and wild with joy. All the men looked at her, asked her name, sought to be introduced. All the attaches of the cabinet wished to waltz with her. She was remarked by the minister himself.
Hi. Hi. What's your name again? Hello. Nice to meet you.
Ikaw ang mag-adjust.
She left the ball about 4 o'clock in the morning. Her husband had been sleeping since midnight in a little deserted anteroom with 3 other gentlemen whose wives were enjoying the ball.
What's the matter?
Dad, I have lost Forrester necklace.
What? How possible? Are you sure you have it on before you left the ball?
Yes, I left it in the vestibule minister house. Please, find it. Right, find it.
Sure. I want to go back to the room and I will come to see you.
Okay, Alin. Take me there.
The next day, they took the box that had contained it and went to the jeweler whose name was found within. He consulted his books. Then they went from jeweler to jeweler, searching for a necklace like the other, trying to recall it, both sick with grief.
Good day, ma'am. I came here because I wanted to ask if do you have a jewelry like this?
Oh, wait. There's one more left. You're so lucky. Wait, I get it for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow! Yeah, this is what I am looking for. How much is this?
It's 40,000 francs.
Can I get it with 10,000 francs?
I know, but I give you an discount. You can get it for 36,000 francs if you
I don't have enough money and I need it. I really need this.
what we're gonna do.
Ah, I'll be back soon. Please keep this.
Oh
I
yes,
will,
I will keep it for you.
thank you.
When Madame Loisel took back the necklace, Madame Forrester said to her with a chilly manner,
You should return it sooner. I might have needed it.
Sorry, Forrester. Sorry.
at the end of 10 years, they had paid everything. Everything, with the rates of usury and the accumulation of the compound interest. Madame Loisel looked old now. But one Sunday, having gone to take a walk in the Champs-Élysées to refresh herself after the labors of the week, she suddenly perceived a woman who was leading a child. It was Madame Forrester, still young, still beautiful, still charming.
Oh, hi, Jean. But, Madam, I don't know. You must have mistaken.
No, it's me, Matilde. Matilde Loisel.
Oh, my poor Matilde. How have you changed?
Oh yes, I've had a pretty hard life and great poverty. The last time I saw you. Since the last time I saw you, it was all because of you.
Of me? How so?
Oh yes, do you remember the diamond necklace you lent me to wear in the ministerial ball? Well, I've lost it.
What do you mean? You brought it back to me.
I brought you back another exactly like it. And it takes us 10 years to pay for it.
What? You bought a diamond necklace just like mine?
Oh yes, yes.
Oh, my poor Matilde. My diamond necklace was just a paste. It only cost 500 francs.